everyone, so welcome back. Obviously it's a little hard to see my hair at the moment, but you can at least tell it's purple, so that's a good thing. So yeah, I'm going to be doing a tutorial today. I decided that I kind of want to do something similar to how I'm wearing my hair at the moment, but you know, a little more spiffy because obviously my hair is not super long, so I can't really do a whole lot with it. So what I decided that I'm going to do is I'm going to do a variation, a 3-part variation of the same hairstyle. It's a twisted bun updo, a high bun, a medium bun, and then a low bun, and then with a braid on the side. So I'm gonna show you how to do that real quick. But let me real quick, say hi to Miss Jen again. She's back. Her hair is still beautiful as always, but I am going to be flat iron curling it a little bit to kind of add a little bit more to work with while I'm doing the updos and stuff. And you always want to make sure that you have everything that you need. 4 elastics, which I'm actually gonna have to go grab another one because I think I lost my 4th one somewhere, so we'll figure that out. But got 4 elastics, 1 to hold her hair up into the bun, and then the other 2 to help with the twist, and then bobby pins to secure them in place, and obviously a flat iron to help curl the hair to make it look beautiful in the first place and then easier to style out. So let me go grab that other elastic real quick and I will be right back. Okay, so I'm back. I got all 4, got 3 small ones. Don't know how easily y'all can see it, but they're fairly tiny, and then I grabbed 1 bigger one. So that'll be the one that holds her hair up into the little ponytail that you need on the top, on the middle, and then the low bun. So let me scoot her out of the way real quick. So we'll get those, and then, so yeah, anyway, so I'm just going to be flat iron curling her hair so that it's easier to do the up style on, because she has glorious hair and I keep hitting myself in the face when I do that. And she probably needs a trim, at least once or twice, maybe, so we'll figure it out. But anyway, so let me spin this a little bit sideways so you guys can see it a little bit better, how I do it, and then, yeah, so we'll get to it. So as I'm curling her hair, I just want to kind of explain why I'm curling it, I guess. So whenever you're doing an updo or a style or a braid or anything, and you want it to last longer than just, you know, a couple of hours or so, you always really, really want to add curls to it because that helps the style hold, helps it last a little bit longer. It can actually make the styling process easier too. So like if you're doing a twisted updo, kind of like the one that I'm going to be doing, the curls actually help you create the twists instead of fighting against you when you're making the twists, if that makes any sense. And clearly not trying to make it very perfect because this is just for support in the style. It's not to be like, you know, oh, this is a curled style, it's gonna be, you know, curly. No, it's gonna be a twisted updo. This is just to help support it. So yeah, anyway, continuing on with the curling, and I will be back. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys just kind of how to do a flat iron curl. It's very simple, very easy. So you got the flat iron, and you got your strand of hair, and normally when you flat iron, you just like take it and go make it all straight and stuff, but instead of making it straight, you're wanting to make it curly. So when you're doing a flat iron curl, you want to go in at the same angle you would, except twist your wrist. So normally you'd go in like that if you wanted to go down, but instead do it that way, depending on the direction you want your curl to go. So I got my flat iron like that, and then I twist it into the normal way that I would, and I just pull it down the hair strand. I don't know how well you guys can see, but that hair is wrapped around the end of that flat iron right there. And as you can see, that is a flat iron curl. Yep, very loose, very pretty, very beachy. So yeah, just a mini tutorial inside of a big tutorial. So yeah, fun stuff. Anyway, speeding back up now. As we can see, I have now gotten her curled. Oh, look at that beautiful hair. Oh, I wish my hair looked like that so much. But it's purple, so I'm okay with it. So we've got her curled just so there's some support to the style. And obviously it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be super, super gorgeous. Like, oh my gosh, if I wanted to, I could just wear this out like this. You know, nothing like that. It doesn't have to be like super, super perfect. So just enough that the curls are bouncy and that they'll help hold your style, okay? So I'm going to see how well I can do this without a professional setup that I can move. So we'll work with it. Anyway, so I want to do something similar to kind of what I have right now with the braid going to the side up into a twisted bun. This is not a twisted bun, this is just a messy bun because my hair is not long enough like this. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so what you want to do first is, depending on the direction you want to go, and I think I'm going to go this way so that you guys can see the braid. You don't want to take a whole lot for the braid because the braid is kind of an inconsequential part of this updo, if that makes sense. Like, it's not super detrimental to the style to have the hair curled like this, so we're just gonna clip that out of the way so it's not bothering us. So it's just right there. Just gonna ignore that. Okay, so first I'm gonna show you guys the high bun. And high buns are kind of harder to achieve, especially when you're doing it on a mannequin. And if you want it smooth, you can make it smooth. If you want it textured, you can make it textured. It's completely up to you. I'm going to be doing smooth today just because it's easier to make it smooth than it is to make it textured and make it look good. Okay, so this is more, and you can use your fingers too. It doesn't have to be like super perfect. Actually, if you use your fingers, it makes it more textured. So it's a little bit, it just kind of depends on like what you want to do. Okay, so we've got the cute little curls ponytail. Oh, it's so adorable. Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, so got the big rubber band, and just gonna put it up like you would any ponytail. Just gotta be careful that you're not breaking the ponytail, because normally these smaller ponytails, or rubber bands, which however you want to call them, they do tend to be a teensy bit more fragile just because they don't have a whole lot of like structure to them, I guess is a good way to put it. Okay, so we've got the ponytail. And obviously she's not going to look all that perfect because she's a mannequin. Mannequins are very much harder to do than humans. So we're just going to put one bobby pin in the bottom here to kind of help smooth that out so it's not funky when we do the updo. So we've got a bobby pin there. I don't know how well you guys can see it. Yeah, just enough to kind of smooth it just a little bit more. And don't worry about that little bump that's right there. It's going to get covered when we, you know, twist it out and do stuff. Okay, so I think I was going to do 3 twists on her hair, but since her hair is not actually all that thick, I'm just going to do 2 twists because that'll give me more hair in each twist to what I call pancake out. And Jenna Morgan, if you're watching this, I totally stole your terminology because it works, because it's pancaking. You're flattening out a twist or a braid or whatever, so it works. So thanks for that. Yeah, so let me stand up again. I'm going to move this chair. And we'll start on this one so that you guys can kind of see what I'm doing, okay? So that twist that you just sectioned out, you want to section it into 2 sections. and you just twist it together. Like, it's not super hard, you just kind of twist it like a rope twist. Now, you don't want to go all the way down. Like, you do want to leave just a little bit of hair on the bottom so that you have some to pull when you pancake it out. And if at all possible, you do actually want to pancake quite a bit, depending on, like, the height and the dimension that you want with your twisted updo. And as you kind of pancake it out, you might have to twist it just a little bit more in the same direction that you twisted so that the twists stay together. And no, if you can see that, it doesn't have to be super, super perfect because it's going into an updo. And so we're just going to loop that about like that so it's out of the way, and then you kind of twist it going the opposite direction of how you started it. And then bobby pins. Don't know how well you can see those. Yeah, bobby pins. Just place them where you feel like you need them, and you want to try to use as few as possible because the less bobby pins you use, the less likely they are to show. And we all know that showing bobby pins in an updo is kind of a no-no. As hairstylists, at least, we try our hardest to make sure that any bobby pins that have been used in a style are hidden, because it makes it look more professional, I guess. Like, it just makes it look better. Okay, so there's one little bit of it. It's not super, super, like, tight or super perfect or anything, because most of the perfecting will happen after you get that second twist done. So the second twist, you want to remember the way that you did it in the first twist and do it the opposite way in this one. So I went this way, going left over right with that one. So instead, I'm going to be going right over left, so that it goes the opposite direction, and it makes it a little bit easier to pancake it out and twist it into the bun and giving it an equal dimension. Okay, so you see that? Rope twist, pretty well done. And then you just want to pancake, starting from the top, because it's easier, and just kind of fluff it out. It doesn't have to be super perfect, like I said, just enough to kind of have a little more oomph to it, I guess is the way to say it. And keep kind of twisting in the direction that it's going if you want to have a little more, like, separation of the twisting. If you don't really care about it, don't worry about it too much. It's just, I don't know, it's just a little bit easier if you do it that way. And then, okay, so you can see it's pancaked out. It's not perfect because it doesn't have to be perfect. Yeah, so it looks just like that when you're done twisting it. And then remember the direction that you twisted it. So when I did this one, I was twisting that way, and I went this way with it. And so this one, I'm twisting this way with it, going this way. So I'm going to be rolling it around this way. If that makes sense? Hope so? Question mark? Anyway, so yeah. We'll just kind of put that there, and bobby pin where you feel like you need it. And yeah, you'll just kind of have to place it how you think you'll want it to lay. And obviously you are going to have some bobby pins that aren't going to be exactly where you want them. That's just part of it. So if you feel like you need to move it or you need to move something, then don't be afraid to kind of undo it a touch and then redo it, because if you're a professional wanting to learn how to do this, or if you already know how to do this and you're just kind of wanting an extra little tutorial kind of, then we all know that most of our clients who want this kind of updo want it to look really, really good, and they want it to last. And they don't want any bobby pins showing. So yeah, you just kind of have to work with what you got and kind of figure it out. So there's the bun. I'm going to take her down from her stand and kind of show you guys a little bit closer. So yeah, it's just a cute little twisted updo, and you can see on the very bottom that the bobby pins are fairly well hidden. You'd really have to be, like, looking for them to find them. And like I said, it doesn't have to be super perfect. It's kind of a classier, messy bun, kind of. Okay, so now we're going to do this little Dutch braid, like on my hair, on the top right here. And so if you were watching the tutorial last time, which if you haven't, you totally should, by the way. I look so much worse in that video, but it's a good tutorial if you're actually watching. So yeah, so we're going to start with a slightly bigger section than you normally would because you're wanting to pancake and you're wanting to make sure that it fluffs pretty well. And then, so you section that into 3. And since we're wanting to do a Dutch braid here, you want to grab the middle with your 2 fingers right here, looping it around, leaving these 2 free to go under this right side and grabbing that left side. And so the right side is now the middle and it's just resting on top of your thumb. And so then you go around one more time and you grab hair every time that you're coming to a new side and you have hair resting on top of your thumb. And that will ensure that there's even distribution in the ponytail or in the braid or whatever. Braid, not ponytail. That'll ensure that there's even distribution, that it's an even braid, and you're not accidentally like twisting the braid, if that makes sense. Yeah. And so you just keep going doing that, and you just keep following down, and once you get probably about to the end of the hair that you have sectioned out, which I'm getting close to it right now, once you get fairly close to that, you kind of want to pause where you are. Okay, so you can see that there's really no more hair to grab after this little tiny piece right here. So there's no more hair to grab right there, so that's where I'm going to kind of pause. I'm going to hold on to that, and then since you want to pancake it out and make it look, you know, like an updo, you want to start from the very front of the braid and just gently, here, let me pull her down so you can kind of see what I'm doing, see if that helps. Okay, so grabbing those little hairs right there and just kind of pulling them out until you feel like it's about the width and dimension that you kind of want it. And if you're a professional doing this and you kind of want it a more 3-dimensional and less like pancaked flat braid, then you can actually use a crimper for this part instead of a curling iron, and that will help your braid have more texture to work with. It'll have more hair there, quote unquote, to pancake out, and it'll hold it better too. Like it won't come, like as you're braiding down, it won't quite pull out quite as easily. Like it'll generally stay about where it's at. So yeah, so I'm just going to show you guys. We can see that this is the tiny little bit that I haven't done in the very back here. Yep, and just kind of pancake it as you go, and if you feel like it needs a little more up top, you kind of want to work your way either up or work your way down. And that'll ensure that like no little areas down here are getting pulled loose or pulled flat or whatever. And it just kind of helps ensure that the braid is even. And as you get closer to the bottom, it does kind of get a little bit harder to make it more 3-dimensional because you're working with just a little bit less hair. And so you just kind of have to roll with the punches when you're doing that. And making sure that it's super even. So yeah, if you guys can see that, you can see that the braid is pancaked out pretty evenly. It's about the same width up here as it is down here. And so that will ensure that wherever you place it, and I'm actually going to roll it under. So I'm going to grab one of the tiny little rubber bands that I used, that I told that I had in my inventory earlier. And I'm going to loop it on the very bottom here. And don't be afraid if those couple little quote-unquote stitches right above the loop, the rubber band, are kind of pulled loose a little bit. You can just go back once you get it on and kind of squish them out a little bit. So yeah, just like that. And it's got a little rubber band, so it's a little easier to hold on to it. Okay, and so depending on whichever direction you want it to go, like if you're wanting it to be a little tighter up here and you want it to kind of loop on top, like that, then you can do it like that and kind of make it like a tiny S braid. Or if you're kind of wanting it to just kind of follow the natural curve of the head and go underneath the braid, then you can do that, and you can just kind of bobby pin that end up underneath it, and making sure that you want to hide that rubber band so that it looks like the hair is just holding itself there, if that makes sense. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going under it, so I'm just going to go ahead and pin that. And you do want to put a couple right here in the middle of the braid, just so that it holds. Because we all know if you're doing this for like a prom or a wedding or, you know, whatever, the person who's getting it done wants it to stay with dancing, with sweating, with wind, with whatever. You know, they want it to last all night. Okay, so yeah, anyway, I'm going to just kind of be bobby pinning every now and then just to make sure that the braid is where it needs to be. Yeah, and just covering up that little rubber band, making sure that these ends are bobby pinned in where they need to be, and making sure that any little final touches are taken care of and that it looks good. So there we go. There's the finished product of the high bun. And yeah, so it's the same process to do it to the middle one. Instead of just making it a high bun, you just put it right here. And you do the same thing, just twist it and pancake it out and bobby pin it where you want it to be. And then put the braid there. And then the low bun is just about right here. So it's like right here under the occipital bone, which is about right here. So it's just right below it. And so that will be your low bun. And then the braid, depending on how long you want it, will usually go above. So instead of going below, like this one is, it'll go above, like how I had it before, except it won't look quite so much like an S braid, which I will have a tutorial on probably next time. I think I'll actually do that next time, just because like it's super cute, it's super fun. So yeah, we'll go with that. But yeah, so high bun, about right there, about to the apex of the head, if you can see it. Middle bun is about even with the parietal ridges, which are these sections right here. It's like where your head kind of, I don't know, it's hard to explain. I don't do anatomy very well. Anyway, so yeah, high bun, medium bun, low bun. And same process for every time. Usually with the medium and the low bun though, the braid will go on top. Like it'll go above the bun. And yeah, so just pin it up and make sure it looks how you want it to. Like if there's any, like since I started taking stuff down, that little bit is going a little haywire, so if I wanted to, I could just pin that back up and make it look good. But anyway, so yeah. So this is the end of my video. Thank you guys for watching if you were watching this far. I really appreciate it. And if you haven't, you should totally subscribe to my channel and come back and watch me next time, because I'm going to be doing an S braid, which is super, super fun. And I'm just, yeah. So, and don't forget to hit that bell as well so that you get a notification every time I make a new video and have it up. So that would be super awesome of you guys. So if you could, just subscribe, hit that bell, and come back and see me next time. Bye guys, thanks!